My dog is...
Welcome back, everybody, to the Good Old Hockey Podcast. This is episode number 55. Alan, can you believe it? We're at episode 55, and it's like,
Whoa.
Where's the time gone for you?
Time just flies. So it feels like I've only been on this podcast for 10 episodes. That's crazy.
It does. And if you don't get that joke, you're not an OG, but we still love you. Thanks for listening, everybody. Feel free. Please comment. Please like. Please subscribe. Got to do all the housekeeping stuff. If you enjoy the episode, if you're watching right now all the way through, give us a nice little comment down below to let us know that you're listening. We've got a couple buddies that I know, both Al and I know, watch. Shout out to you, Moose, if you're watching. He always texts. I don't know if he texts both of us. He always texts me at least when he's listening to it.
He always texts me about how he can hear my dog in the background. Shut up, Bo. No, I'm kidding. I love you, buddy.
But if anyone else is listening, please comment. We'd love to hear from you on anything that we say, because this is going to be a good episode. I don't know, before we get into everything, I feel like this season really hasn't been as drama-filled as like some previous seasons, and that's not good for our job. For our hobby that we're doing. Our job. This is our job.
Our job. This is how I make money. Please subscribe.
please subscribe. This is how I can't afford eggs, so please share it with your friends so we can get more people.
For my dog's sake, please.
Yeah, his dog's going to go hungry if you don't like this video and subscribe.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. We're kidding,
for all
Peter.
you guys listening, I feed my dog, right?
Yeah, no.
In fact, he's a little overweight.
Yeah. But with that being said, today being Monday, we had something stolen from us, this great nation, and it was the golden shovel from Twice Baked Potatoes.
Boo.
If you thought that joke was going to go somewhere else, shame on you. But yeah, so I actually we did a pond hockey tournament. If you don't follow us on Instagram, you missed out. Alan wasn't able to go. He's going to go next year, though. I'm making him promise that he's going to go. It's a lot of fun.
To be fair, I said I was going to go next year, last year, and I did not go. But I will be going this upcoming year, 2026, Martin Luther King Jr. Day weekend. I will be in Ketchum, Idaho, playing pond hockey with the fellas, probably getting kicked out of pond hockey games.
There was like one. Basically, how it works, it was like a big rink split up into 3 sections. I'll back up. Friday we drove up. Got off. I didn't even have to work that day. It's kind of nice, but went up there, went out to the bar. There's a bar there called the Casino in Ketchum downtown.
When you were saying, Sean kept texting in the group chat here. Little side note for the fans out there. Sean kept texting, we're at the casino, right? So I kept texting in the group chat, Sean, remember the money glitch, right? That we discussed last week. Go blackjack, play for 4 minutes on one of the computers. I didn't realize they were talking about a bar. This is breaking news to me. Anyways, go on.
Yes, this was a bar. We didn't say anything? I thought we said something in the group chat.
I think you said something about pull tabs, and I was really confused. I'm like, what?
Yeah, it's the things they have at End Zone, little touch.
Yeah, no, I know what pull tabs are. I just didn't realize it wasn't a casino still.
No, it was lame. I got not lame. It was a cool bar, but I got really excited when we drove in and I just saw the casino on a sign. And I was like, hell yeah. I thought it was like, I don't know.
Time to make some money.
I don't know. And then we go in. It's a bar. It's a cool place. Anyways, that was Friday. Went back to the house, and our buddy Tim just destroyed me in 7-Eleven doubles. If you guys don't know what that game is, it's a brutal drinking game, and I lost a lot, so I had to drink a lot. So it's like 2 a.m. I fell asleep on the couch. I had to wake up at 6 a.m. the next day to go play hockey. And they wake me up and I'm just in pain. It sucks so bad. But then I remembered a little glitch for getting over hangovers.
Oh,
and that is to keep drinking. 2? Yeah, just keep drinking. So I cracked open a White Claw after our first game, and I felt great the rest of the day. Vibes were super high. The game itself was fun. I don't think that like you would actually get in. Well, just keep your head on straight, and like you're not going to get upset with anyone. It was definitely there were some points where like it was getting physical, not physical, but like it was getting heated, especially in playoffs. Like you want to win. I threw some words out at Vic's team, which I didn't really, but
with the geriatric Russians.
Yes. I have a bone to pick because in pond hockey you can't goaltend, and that is just sit in front of the net, right, and just guard it. But there's also a point to it where it's like, hey, this is hockey. I am trained to be standing in the shooting lane at all times.
Yeah,
and sometimes I may forget that, but they called me on goaltending on a play, and the entire time they were doing the same exact shit, which I don't really like. I don't have a total problem with, but if you're going to call me out on it, I said, oh, shut the fuck up is what I said. Mm-hmm. And Tim was like, Sean, it's friendly. I was like, I'm sorry. I said that with a smile. That wasn't like super serious. But yeah,
somebody threw it out. Someone threw it out in the group chat. I get pretty competitive when I play hockey as a forward. I mess around a little bit in roller hockey, and somebody threw it out in the group chat that I would get banned for life. Which my immediate response was me and our good friend Tim. I love you, Tim, if you're watching this. I hate the Nashville Predators, though. We get into it when we play hockey against each other. So I simply said that as long as I'm not on Tim's team, we'd be fine. But I don't know. Either way.
Well,
as long as you are on
Tim's team.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah. It was actually a team that plays in the downtown. So Vic's team, the White Russians, went the Jurassic Russians is what we call them. They went all the way to the finals, and they played actually a team. It was, I forget their name, but they actually won. They won both days. They won the B day that we played in, and they won the A day. So they won back to back. They got 2 golden shovels, which is just fucked. But yeah, so they ended up winning. And a couple of the guys I know, I feel like I've seen them downtown at the where we play. So yeah, it was a rough drive home, especially losing the way they did it too. Like they are supposed to do it like 1 through 12, like seeding, right? Like 12 teams make the playoffs. There's like 24 teams that play. So the fact that we got in is pretty cool, but we were undefeated. There was 3 undefeated teams, and that was us, the half-baked potatoes, the twice-baked potatoes, the other Grizzlies, and the White Russians. And then I think there was another team that was undefeated. There's like 6 brackets or something like that. Yeah. We didn't even get there. There's 4 teams that get a bye. They just picked them out of a hat. They didn't even rank us by wins, by goal differential, nothing. We just got unlucky that we had to face the White Russians in the first round when realistically we shouldn't have faced either of our own teams, like those 3 teams, undefeated teams. We shouldn't have faced them to the semifinals, but we got screwed. So we're going to be putting in a petition to have that fixed because, just unjust in this country. Yeah. So, but before we move on, there was a beer league game that was played last Tuesday, and you guys can skip ahead if you guys don't want to hear this stuff, but it's entertaining. Trust me. What was your describe? I just kind of talked a lot. Describe your point of view that game that we just played last Tuesday.
I played really bad in the first period and really good in the second and third period. I think we were down like 4-2 at some point. Ended up winning 6-4. Mm-hmm. It might have been 4-1. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, I think we were.
But the boys showed up.
Yeah, me and Tim had a shift and a half. The last shift of the game for us, at least. I think there was like a minute left after, but there were many. What?
That was the most nuts sequence of hockey I've ever been a part of. I've been playing hockey for going on 20 years, right? Mm-hmm. A long time.
Yeah.
And I've been playing goalie for the entirety of it. And that was the most insane sequence of hockey I think I've ever been a part of. Shout out to Sean and our buddy Tim. The team we were playing the best team in our league. I forget.
Wait, really? That was the best team?
That was the best team in our league. They have one of the players that we lost from last season, who's one of the best guys in our league, Tyler Krenagel. And there was a single shift with like a minute left. I think they were on the power play, and they pulled their goalie, so it was 6-on-4. And at one point, there was like a 30-second span of time where they probably had 15 shots at the net. I probably made 8 saves, and you and Tim made the rest of the saves.
Yeah.
It was hilarious. Tim, who's one of the defensemen, made a leg pad save, which was hilarious. He kicked the leg out and everything.
He was
glove save.
He was in butterfly position. I took one off the shoulder and the inside of my foot. I had to call out of work the next day because I couldn't walk on it. I felt like a fucking loser because I called my boss and like, hey, I can't walk on my foot right now because I blocked a shot in hockey last night. And I really don't want this. I don't want this to be broken or anything. So I iced it like all day Wednesday. Yeah, it hurt. And I thought, I didn't even know if I could go to Sun Valley because I was like, God damn.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, yeah, that was a crazy sequence. And I agree. In my 20 years of playing, I don't think I've ever, I've never seen that. Seen it on TV in the NHL. But I mean, not only like what we did, like Alan also played amazing, like stops left and right. Like,
yeah,
that the last 2 weeks of hockey that we've had has been amazing. And I'm hoping, praying and believing that tomorrow is going to be the same.
We're playing the
buzzing
worst
right
team
now
in our league, too.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They have a negative. So we play 20 games in the season. I want to say we're 13 games in, and they have a -50 goal differential. So for those of you guys out there watching, we have a pretty competitive beer league. It's not like it's the top level in the Boise area. It's the best beer league in the Boise area, the Treasure Valley.
The best, yeah.
It's not like the best beer league I've ever played in.
Yeah.
As far as all around like skill, but it's really competitive. And there's 6 teams in our division. 5 of them are within a couple wins of each other, right? And there's one team that's won 2 games all season. They have a -50 goal differential. So that's who we play tomorrow night.
Didn't we lose to them though?
Shut up.
That was a bad game.
Yes, we did.
That was a horrible game. They were super excited to win. Good for them. We had to give them a little morale victory. And which, speaking of morale, actually, this is funny. Speaking of morale victories, going back to the tournament, we're talking a lot about beer league hockey, but I'm sure most of you guys that are listening probably enjoy this, so we're going to keep talking about it.
Beer league's fun.
Yeah, it is. And especially pond hockey. So we played in the B division, which we aren't like, obviously we aren't the best team because we didn't win.
Yeah.
It's a wide range of skill levels. Like some guys are just kind of out there farting around. This one team that was in our round robin bracket was called Too Drunk to Puck was their name on their jerseys. Awesome. I think that was them.
They had custom jerseys for it?
If you call custom as in like taped on there, Too Drunk to Puck, yes.
Oh, that's awesome.
There were some custom jerseys out there which were cool, but this team was composed of the Boise firefighters, and we were playing them. And the first half, mind you, this ice is so bad. We played the first game on that sheet of ice, and the ice was horrible. So you can imagine after 6-7 people have played on it, it's gotten even huge cracks, holes. I couldn't even skate backwards half the time. Like,
interesting.
You are skating backwards and you're like looking over your shoulder because you don't want to eat shit. We've had I fell multiple times. One of our teammates, John, he was on the other team and he fell and lost the game because of the fault. Like the dude had a breakaway because John fell. And it wasn't like his fault. It was just the ice is so bad. Anyways, we're playing these firefighters. These guys are drunk, having fun. We played the most lockdown defense we have ever played against these guys. It was so mean. Our buddy Chase, like me and Tim were like, I was stick lifting, like getting in all my defensive Like I was just like, I want to be a menace on defense right now because I can. Just stick lifting, stealing the puck away, stuff like that. Tim's blocking shots like shit like that. And our buddy Chase, he's like, dude. Yeah, he's like, dude, these are retired or not even retired, active duty firefighters coming up here for the weekend to have fun. Like, let them have a goal at least. And Tim just like, no, absolutely not. And note, this is not any disrespect to the fire service, anything at all. It was just pure competition, and it was just funny at the end of the day. We were like,
that's hilarious.
Looking back on it, we were just like, why are we trying so hard against these guys? They were just having fun. They were laughing. They were like, I skated by one dude, and he was like, dude, my C League is showing really hard right now. If you guys don't get that, it's like one of the lowest levels in men's hockey.
That's so funny.
And yeah,
I'm just imagining you boys playing a trap in pond hockey, playing a 1-1-3.
Yeah, and we had a full-on box like in the offensive zone, passing it around. But you never know. Like we thought maybe the goal differential would affect it. The seeding and stuff. So we were just like, we're gonna go hard. The game ended up being 9-1.
Hey, you let him score.
Yeah, we let one when they scored. The dude like sellied, like what was it? Went on his knees, like pumping his fists, and it was. I fun would to too. See. Yeah, I would too. By the end of it, we kind of gave up. But
talking about that ice, I remember. I think it was 16s. We went to a tournament in Chicago. I think it was the Bauer World Invite. And we went somewhere and we played pond hockey out there. It was like in a parking lot. Not really pond hockey. It was like a parking lot that they froze over some water, right? Yeah. Made a little rink out of. And I got a pretty cool picture of all the boys there. One thing I remember, though, it was really strange because it was like maybe 10 degrees outside when we were playing, but the ice wasn't frozen up underneath.
Yeah.
So like we kept falling in.
Yeah.
By the time we were done, it was like it was impossible to skate on because the ice was like extremely cracked all over the place, and you'd fall in if you'd stand on it, which I find nuts. But
yeah, no, that's what was happening to us. Like there's like at least if you can see it on camera, like cracks the size of my leg, just down the ice, and we tried our best to fix it, but that's pond hockey. I mean,
yeah.
It screwed us in the end. That game against White Russians, it was only 1-0. So, but we'll move on to some of the topics.
20-minute conversation about beer league and pond hockey.
But you know what? I'm sure you guys love that. Maybe we'll do more of that. If you guys enjoy it, let us know. But first piece of hot news is Connor McDavid. He got suspended today it got released, but he was suspended 3 games by Gary Bettman, which honestly, I was shocked that Gary even gave him a suspension because he's Connor McDavid and poster boy, blah, blah, blah. Anyways, I'm going to roll the clip. I'm going to roll the clip and we're going to react to pretty much what happened in that sequence. And here we go. Okay, so falls down. Connor Garland holds him. McDavid then starts humping him from behind. Gets up, punches, cheap shot. There's a penalty. Connor Garland, being a little scumbag, pushing him down, holding McDavid down. McDavid gets up, cross check to the face. Oh. Right there, and then scrum ensues. It doesn't show, but then everyone freaks out, and they're like, oh my God. Okay. I don't know how everyone feels about this, but I've seen some stuff where people are pretty frustrated that McDavid got this penalty or this suspension. And I'm kind of at a loss for words because I feel like it's pretty obvious that this is, worthy of a suspension, whether what Connor Garland did or not. Like, this is pretty obvious. And I don't even know why we're having a conversation about this. Why people are upset. I don't know if it's just because it's McDavid, whatnot, but McDavid, like, I get it. You get heated, but drop the gloves. Like, if you're really that upset about it.
I saw, obviously I'm pretty active on looking at like hockey on Instagram. And it's really funny if you look at a post about the suspension, there's a million of them from every single different hockey source. Half of the comments are calling Connor McDavid a baby, basically calling him McBaby and stuff like that. And then the other half of the comments are going, why didn't Garland get a penalty? Blah, 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 blah. Like defending him with sword in hand, right?
Yeah.
I find it pretty interesting that people are that like kind of black and white about it. At the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what you do to somebody. You can't cross-check them in the face.
No.
And expect to not get a suspension. Like, yeah, if Connor Garland had cross-checked him in the face first, he should get a suspension too. At the end of the day, all he did was hold Connor McDavid. That is a penalty.
Yeah.
But he's holding him at the end of a close game. It was a 1-goal game. And I'm pretty sure the Oilers were on the power play.
And to start, I mean, McDavid was ass humping him from the start. So it's like, yeah, Garland maybe took him down, whatever. But like the whole thing, sure, both could be penalties, but that cross check to the face is definitely going to outweigh whatever Connor Garland did.
Yeah.
And I know the playoffs last year against the Canucks, I forget who it was. You remember that cross check McDavid got in the face against a Canuck?
That was Nikita Zadorov.
Okay, Zadorov, he got 1 game suspension, and people are like, oh, why didn't McDavid only get 1 game? Well, that's the playoffs. It's a little bit different. You can't give a guy 3 games just to set a standard. Like,
the rules are different in the playoffs, and you play 82 games in a regular season. You play at most, I believe, 28 games in the playoffs. Yeah, 7 games a series. Well,
and it's a series. So like if he's gone,
it gets called way different, right?
Yeah.
I think 3 games might be a little harsh.
I mean,
but at the same time, you can't cross-check a guy in the face and expect not to get punished. And that's my biggest problem with it is like, yeah, Connor Garland did what Connor Garland did. Connor Garland, his entire career he's made his career off being kind of a guy who plays on the edge, right?
Yeah.
Smaller guy, he plays physical, he plays hard, right? He's going to do whatever he can to get an advantage, right? And if you're on the penalty kill with a lead late in the game, yeah, you're going to try and make it so that Connor McDavid is a non-factor on that penalty kill, right?
Yeah.
Should it be a penalty? Probably. Should it be a holding call? Probably. But at the same time, that doesn't give Connor McDavid rights to cross-check him in the face. And if that's any other guy in the NHL, people aren't saying anything because it's like, yeah, you can't turn around and go, bah, straight to somebody's head. That's dangerous. You're going to break his jaw or worse, right?
Yeah.
I think people are just mad about it because it's Connor McDavid. And we've seen kind of this like, McDavid can do whatever he wants because he's McDavid. Yeah. Same thing with Crosby, can do whatever he wants because he's Crosby. And
people are using this people are using this to defend, or not defend, but to like fuel that argument of like, oh, Bettman hates Canada, like blah blah blah. No, it doesn't matter. Like if anything, Connor McDavid is his super child. Like he's the dude that's making Bettman all the money in the world right now.
Yeah.
One of them.
He's the reason new fans are tuning in to watch the sport.
Yes. And like if he wasn't playing, weird to say, but if he wasn't say Connor McDavid didn't exist, I don't think that hockey would be in the golden age that it is right now. No. Also, it's weird to think about. This dude's 28. He's been in the league for almost 10 years.
That's nuts to me.
And Edmonton,
I remember when that guy was drafted.
That man. Yeah.
That's nuts.
Yeah. It doesn't feel like that long ago, but it is.
He's getting like old. That 2015 draft is like the first draft I really remember paying attention to.
Same.
So I remember when Ekblad was drafted in 2014, and I vaguely remember when McKinnon was drafted in 2013, watching the draft. But like that McDavid draft, there was like so much hype built up around him, what he's going to be in the NHL.
Yeah, I remember the Sharks had a 7% chance of getting him, and I was
that was the 1 year they missed the playoffs between, I want to say it was 2000. Yeah, like 2006 and 2019. That was the 1 year they missed the playoffs. It was 2014.
The year after they picked 7th to get Timo Meier, they went to the Stanley Cup final the next year. So,
yep,
that's what life is like as a Sharks fan. So
it's crazy.
Yeah,
yep.
But Connor McDavid, you deserve everything that has come to you. You'll be fine. The Oilers will be fine. It's 3 games. Just don't cross-check people in the face is the end of our rant. Don't cross-check people in the face.
Just because he's a smaller guy and not as important as you doesn't mean you can cross-check him in the jaw.
Exactly. Or just drop the gloves, pussy. Like, come on.
Yeah.
You're going to actually do something.
It's Connor Garland. He's 4'8".
Yeah.
Drop him. Live. Fight him. You're 6'3".
Funny. Yeah, that too.
Come on, bro.
Yeah. But in other news, we have a goalie goal. Which,
my favorite
conversation. I'm going to let you take the floor as a resident goalie on this podcast. I'm sure this torqued you hard.
Oh my God, it was so fun. So Alex Nedeljkovic scored a goalie goal the other night. He had a 2-point game. He had an assist and a goal, which is the first time a goaltender has ever put up 2 points in a single game. Now, there's a couple other things.
Wait, is it 2 points or is it just a goal and assist?
2 points. Goal and assist. No other goalie has ever had both. Or ever had 2 points. What's very interesting, Alex Nedeljkovic becomes the first goalie to ever score a goal in all 3 American pro hockey leagues.
Yes.
So he scored a goal in the ECHL. He scored 2 in the AHL and now he's scored in the NHL. It's very interesting. Now, I am upset about this for one reason. This is probably the first and last time we'll ever see a goalie have the opportunity to have a Gordie Howe hat trick in an NHL game. I'm sure there will be another goalie in, 80 years who will put up a goal and an assist, right? It's bound to happen with the progression of the game, and it seems like goalie goals are happening more often. We saw one 2 years ago. We saw one last year.
Yep.
I think we saw 2 last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. But there's never been a goalie to get 2/3 of the way to a Gordie Howe hat trick. All he had to do was fight somebody. Right?
Yeah.
That would have been awesome. Imagine, because it was an empty net goal at the end of the game. Imagine he then skates out and just punches somebody in the face, tries to get in a fight with him. That's what I would have done. I'm sorry. Now, I'm not in the NHL. I'm not Alex Nedeljkovic, right? But you have an .890 save percentage. It's not like the Penguins need you in net, right? Get in a fight. That'd be awesome.
Yeah, go to center ice. I'm sure whoever he was playing, for the sake of goalie solidarity, he would have accepted that fight to be a part of his. Like, he would have been a part of history.
I would have. Are you kidding me? Absolutely. In beer league, now listen, I'm a nobody. Alex Nedeljkovic is a somebody, right? Yeah. In beer league, if some goalie has an assist and then a goal in a game, and he tries to fight me, I'm going. I am absolutely going. That's a story for your life, right?
True. But what if
Alex?
I have a thing for you. What if someone had no goals and no assists but tried to fight you? Would you do it?
I'd fight him anyways. There was, real quick side note, again, back to beer league. There was a game last year, and I think there was a game this year where there was a scrum at the other side. I do this whenever there's like a big scrum at the other side of the rink. I'll skate up to the blue line, to like almost to the red line, just to see, like, why not?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But yes, absolutely. If another goalie tried to fight me, I'd definitely fight him. But especially if he had the opportunity for a Gordie Howe hat trick, that's history right there. Yeah. I don't care about the 2-point night, right? That's going to happen at some point. When's the next time a goalie's going to get a Gordie Howe hat trick?
Exactly.
Probably never.
Yeah. No, that would have been a beautiful, beautiful thing.
I would say that's about as impossible as a goalie hat trick.
Yeah. Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Because at least with goalie goals, you can control it, right? Because you're the one shooting the puck. You get an empty net for like, sometimes teams pull the goalie for like 5 minutes, right?
Yeah.
It's possible.
3 goals though.
Man.
No.
It's possible, right? It's possible. Like, say your team's down by like 2 goals, right? And you see this sometimes teams will pull the goalie with like 4, 5, 6, 7 minutes left, right?
Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
For one more goal, right? But if you're pulling the goalie with 7 minutes left, you probably think you can score 3, right? Down by 2, score 1, score a second one, and then you leave it up to chance, right?
Yeah, but then that team's down 4 goals. You think they're going to pull their goalie?
Whatever. You might have to let him 1 year.
Yeah, you might have to let in. It has to be like a 1-goal game, 7 minutes left.
Yeah.
No. 2-goal game. Here, 2-goal game, 7 minutes left. Opposing team scores. They pull their goalie again. You score. They score. You score. They score. You score. Up
cheese.
2. Done.
If
it is possible.
If I think it's a possibility, right? Like I get one goalie goal, I'm feeling it, right?
Yeah.
I might let in a goal to keep them that goalie out. Just see if I can score another, right? But my point here is that's extremely, extremely unlikely. I think it might be more unlikely for a goalie to not only score a goal, second of all, get an assist, which is really rare.
That is true.
If you think about it, the leading point scorer in the NHL for goalies is, I believe, Martin Brodeur.
Yeah. He has more points than Biz.
45 assists, or he has like 43 assists and like 2 or 3 goals, right? He's only got like 45, 50 points. And he played for what seemed like 100 million years.
Yeah.
All right. Might have been 23 years. But he played a long freaking time. He's averaging 2 points a season, and he scored 3 goals. So he's averaging like 2 assists a season, maybe.
Yeah. No, right? I think getting an assist seems easier in the head than it does actually in real life, let alone a goal. A goal is extremely hard too, but.
And then you also have to convince, I mean, I guess you could fight a skater, but that's really, really uncommon, right?
Yeah.
We see goalie fights in the National Hockey League maybe once every couple seasons.
Yeah.
Right?
Those refs need to let him go at it.
Maybe. Yeah, I agree with that. There are so many clips of refs breaking up goalie fights. And it's like, what was that one? Like, it was Binnington and Fleury last year.
Yeah.
Where that would have been the ref didn't let him go.
Yeah.
Fleury skated all the way down the ice, and the ref wouldn't let him go. It's like, dude, what are you doing? This is peak entertainment.
Yeah.
But I think just based off of the fact that like refs don't really let goalies fight anymore.
Yeah.
I think that might actually be less likely to see a Gordie Howe hat trick by a goalie than a hat trick by a goalie. I don't know. I think it's possible. The NHL is a weird place, right? And stuff happens. Crazy shit happens.
That is true.
What are the odds? What are the odds you do all 3 of those things in a game? Not very likely. By the way, Nedeljkovic, you're awesome for getting 2 points.
But
I saw some crazy stats. He has more points now than, I'm forgetting the guys. He has more points than a few of the guys that are on the Penguins that have played the entire season. Which is hilarious because he hasn't been starting all season. Jari started most of the year.
Yeah.
Speaking of Jari, I don't know if you saw there's rumors he's getting sent down.
Yeah.
To the AHL. The Penguins are going to put him on waivers, which I find crazy.
Yeah. Well, I saw this kind of leads into the Penguins in general, and just trade talks. They're talking about possibly moving Erik Karlsson. And they're just ready
today.
The Penguins are ready to clean house. Kyle Dubas is finally ready to pull that trigger. We'll see what happens. But in other trade news, JT Miller, this is a huge one here. So the Rangers and the Canucks had a potential trade that was lined up for JT Miller. The Rangers would be sending Philip Chytil. How do you say it? Chytil. Philip Chytil and defenseman Ryan Lindgren for some future assets with, first round picks, but they could not come to terms with the actual pick itself of like the protections under it. Like, is it top 5 protected, top 10, blah, blah, blah. They couldn't get through that. Miller signed through the 2029-2030 season, the $8 million a season, which JT Miller last season did amazing. I think he only has 8 goals on the season this year, but still like 29 points from what I read. And then, so $8 million, and he has a full no movement clause. So he must have accepted that move back to the Rangers. And that'd be Miller's return back to the Rangers as well. Because he was drafted 2011, 15th overall. Look at me. I wrote these down. But I think it was Elias Pettersson and JT Miller were 2 names that the Canucks were trying to throw around in these trades. I think Pettersson seems like he's more likely to stick around, but we'll see if this JT Miller thing takes, another team looks at him, or I'm sure I have a feeling he's going to be moving by trade deadline.
I would agree with that. We haven't really discussed the whole Miller-Pettersson beef that's going on.
No.
And I don't really have a complete grasp on it.
Yeah.
I don't really understand what all happened between them, if they just button heads in the locker room or what. But it has clearly come to a boiling point in Vancouver. That team's been interesting for the last few years. I feel like they've been very back and forth, like they should be a contender, but they're not. Yeah. Obviously, they were really, really, really good last year. And now they're currently a point out of the second wild card spot in the Western Conference.
Okay, that's what I was looking at.
They're 7 points back of the Colorado Avalanche in the first wild card spot. Okay. 5 points out of a divisional spot. That's weird for a team that was one of the best teams in hockey last year to have that kind of a fall off with pretty much the same roster. They lost Nikita Zadorov, but not really anybody else. So clearly there's something going on behind the scenes there. Pettersson has not been great this year. JT Miller's taken a step back. It's kind of interesting to see kind of the collapse of what seemed to be a really promising team for the next few years in just a year. And who knows, maybe they could turn it around and put this back on track.
I think that's what that trade was.
Great.
Yeah.
Go on.
I think that's what that trade was supposed to do, or they were hoping it would do. JT Miller is both third. Well, JT Miller's third in points on the team, and Elias Pettersson is fifth. Both like 2 points away from each other, but Quinn Hughes is in the lead with almost 19. 19 points ahead of everyone. Connor Garland, funny enough. And I just don't really know what happened to this team, what fell off. I mean, looking at their goalies, looks like, Kevin Lankinen has been playing a majority of those games for them, but he's not playing horrible. I mean, 903 save percentage, goals against average 2.6. Demko is he even hurt?
The reason why he's only played 10 games is he was hurt for most of the year.
Okay.
And Thatcher Demko, being a goalie, I pay attention to goalies a lot.
Yeah.
And especially being an American goalie from the state of California, I pay attention to that stuff, right? Thatcher Demko, I do truly believe, is one of the best goalies in the NHL. The problem is, like SpongeBob in that one episode, he has glass bones and paper skin. Every morning he breaks his legs, and every night he breaks his arms. Yeah. He cannot stay healthy to save his life, which I do think is a shame. He's 25 years old.
Yeah.
And he's 29 years old, pardon me. He's played 229 games. And if you think about the average starting goalie starts like 60 games a year, right? He's only done that once in his career.
Damn.
Which is insane, because really since he started in the NHL, he's been very good. His first season, I guess you can call it, he played 9 games in 2018-19, and he had a 913 save percentage. Second season, he had a 905 in 27 games, and then his third season, he had a 915 in 35 games. Since then, he has one season in where he's made 60 plus starts, or 60 plus games played.
Yeah.
He started 61 games in 21-22, put up a 915 save percentage, which is nuts. That guy is really, really good, but he cannot stay healthy to save his life.
Yeah.
He was injured for most of the season, which caused Vancouver to start Kevin Lankinen. And given Kevin Lankinen's been, I mean, for a backup goalie who's starting, he's kind of done what you can ask for. He has a 903 save percentage and significantly less than 3 goals against per game. And he's won 16 of his 30 starts, right? 29 starts. He's doing what you can ask of him.
Yeah.
But like,
he's not a number one dog. Yeah.
he's not Thatcher Demko.
Yeah.
And you combine that with a team that scored a lot of goals last season. And even if, Demko or Seelovs or whoever else had a bad game, they get outscore you.
Yeah.
You have one guy who's really anywhere near a point per game in Quinn Hughes.
Yeah.
And then the rest.
The rest is just, yeah. Well, really quick, I'll go ahead and finish that thought because I want to move on to the Rangers and talk about their sitch.
I was just going to say, Brock Besser, who scored 40 goals last season, is on pace for maybe 30 this year. JT Miller, who had, I think he put up
30, 40.
103 points with almost 40 goals last season.
Yeah.
He's going to be under a point per game this year if he keeps up his current pace, and he'll probably only score 20 goals.
Yeah.
When you were a team last year that not only they could beat you in net, but they could also beat you on the score sheet.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can't score, and you have a guy who's, a backup goalie trying to keep you afloat.
Yeah.
It's kind of interesting. So I do think a change-up needs to happen there. And if Miller's causing a problem in the locker room,
yeah, I mean, I think people underestimate how much a locker room cancer can really affect a team's performance. I've experienced it in youth hockey. You can just tell if someone in the locker room is not gelled with it. It truly does. It's a cancer. I mean, that's the definition of what, how cancer works. It spreads on to other people. And if
we're talking about the same guy, or we're thinking of the same guy.
I'm thinking of multiple guys, but yes. Anyways,
one New York specific Rangers. Person I'm thinking of.
Yeah, I am too, and I know we've both talked about it before. Moose texts us on the side, and you'll know.
Yeah,
maybe Moose knows. I don't know, but the New York Rangers, pulling them up really quick. The Rangers actually are not coming back, but they're actually doing a lot better than they have been. They're now 5th in the wild card race. They are only 4 points behind the Bruins, who are in 2nd. So they're kind of on a comeback. Their last 10, they've actually gone 6-1-3. I know you hate the Rangers, but again, this is a team that won the President's Trophy last year, hasn't been able to figure it out. And I don't know if it's, I'm looking at their last couple teams they've played, lost to Montreal today. No, yesterday. Lost to Montreal yesterday in overtime. Beat the Blue Jackets. Beat the Utah. I'm going to call them the Utah Yeti because I feel like that's going to be the team name.
I hope so.
I hope to God, yeah. So yeah, it's okay. So beat Blue Jackets, beat the hockey team, lost to Avalanche in overtime, beat the Knights, that's a big win. Knights are doing well. Beat the Devils, which is another rival team that's doing pretty well in their division. Lost to the Stars in overtime, not a bad loss. And beat the Blackhawks on the 5th of January. And then lost to the Capitals on the 4th, 7-4. Yikes. But that's Ovechkin. But yeah, the Rangers seem to be kind of figuring it out a little bit. We'll see how long that lasts, if they can keep that momentum going. They're going to have, they're 9 points behind the Hurricanes, who are 3rd in the Metro. So it's going to be tough for them to crack that. Again, there's still a lot of hockey left to be played, but it's going to come. It's going to be a lot of work for them to be able to sneak back into their division, and some luck and losing on the other teams.
I feel like the Rangers, I feel like the Canucks could really just benefit from a change.
Yeah.
Right? Because I feel like they've ran back that core the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And it's worked out one time. It's really worked out one time. Yeah. I think they need a change. I feel like the Rangers could actually really benefit from a top line center. If you look at their roster and point scoring, their top scoring center is Vinny Trocheck with 29 points in 46 games.
Yeah.
for a team like the Rangers that, like, going into the season, I think everybody expected them to be competing for a Stanley Cup. And even though I love to hate the Rangers, I was expecting them to be, at minimum a team getting bounced in the second round.
Yeah.
You only have one player who's above point per game, and that's Panarin.
Yeah.
And your next best point scoring guy is Adam Fox, who's a defenseman. And then you have a bunch of guys who, the last few years, they've been really good.
Yeah, Zibanejad's only a point away from Trocheck. So it's not,
yeah.
Like you're correct. They needed number
25.
Yikes. I did not see that.
I'm not a big plus minus guy. I don't
but that is not good.
Telling of a stat, but when you're talking about a team that's fighting for a wild card spot and your guy who's playing on the top line is a minus 25, that's not a good sign.
Nope. Not at all.
Then obviously you have Chris Kreider, who he has 15 goals this year.
15
he only
goals,
has 17
That's
points.
Nuts.
Which is hilarious. I don't think I've ever seen that.
No, I don't think I have either.
Guys who have a few more goals than assists every year. I think Kirill Marchenko on the Blue Jackets kind of like that.
Yeah.
But you don't see it where it's that drastic.
That is crazy.
He's got 17 points, 15 goals, and we're halfway through the season. That's awesome. That guy might be my new hero. I love him.
He looks like
nerds.
Yeah. Inside joke here, but he kind of looks like Cody King, Mr. King, a little bit, or the tortilla from Sausage Party.
That's crazy. He looks like both of them.
Yeah, he does.
I never thought about that. That's crazy.
Yeah. No, I saw him at an All-Star game. Yeah, but one last thing I want to touch on is the Washington Capitals are the best team in hockey right now.
Are they?
They have 67 points as of the time of recording. They're 2 points ahead of the Jets. It's January 20th. Probably has changed since then. But the Knights leading the Pacific with 62, Winnipeg in the Central with 65, Toronto in the Atlantic with 62, and the Capitals with 67 points, which
I would really like if everybody were to not go back and look at the first podcast of the season where I called the Washington Capitals pretenders. That's crazy. I'm like
the Devils pretenders. Or maybe they were contenders.
I called the Wild pretenders too,
who
are also still pretty good. So apparently I just don't know puck, which I could live with. But that I do find it crazy. Alexei Prota, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I think it's like Protus or something like that. But he's up there. He's got 19 goals, 19 assists in 46 games, 38 points. That guy's insane. Pierre-Luc Dubois is having a bit of a bounce back year. 36 points in 46 games, playing way better.
Holy crap.
Connor McDavid.
The Jets have a plus 52 goal differential, and the Capitals have a plus 50 goal differential. The next team is the Tampa Bay Lightning with plus 37. So that's crazy.
You know what?
Good for the Capitals.
The craziest thing about that is the Caps last year made the playoffs, and everybody was talking about how they were the biggest joke of the league, right? Because they made the playoffs with a minus goal differential. And we're halfway through the year. They did get swept, but we're now halfway through the year. They really haven't made any changes besides bringing in Logan Thompson.
You know who else?
Who, by the way, is playing out of his freaking mind.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at his stats.
At the end of March, after the Frozen Four, they're going to get Ryan Leonard. He's going to be playing for them and probably playing in the playoffs. That team's going to be nuts. And I mean, Ryan Leonard's a rookie, so I don't know if he's going to make a complete difference, but
he's a guy who I could see making a difference immediately, even if it's not on the score sheet.
No, but he's still
that's a guy
who's going to be on the third, fourth line. Yeah,
they could put him on a line. They could put him on a line with Tom Wilson, and everybody is going to hate to play the Capitals.
Yeah.
They're going to hate to play the Caps.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at it right now. Listen to the stat line real quick. I know we've been talking a little long right now, but I want you to hear the stat line real quick. This is from the Caps goalie, Logan Thompson. Keep in mind, he was left off of the Canadian Frozen Four roster
for
a bunch of mediocre starters.
Yeah.
He's played 26 games this season, started 25 games. He is 21, 2, and 3. So he hasn't been pulled yet. He's got just over a 2 goals against average and a .925 save percentage.
Holy crap.
Logan Thompson, who last season he was a good goalie for Vegas. He wasn't special.
He was the one they traded at the draft when we were there the second day. He was supposed to be signing autographs. And he didn't, he still showed up, I think.
I think he signed autographs for Vegas and then was getting traded as he was signing autographs in a Vegas jersey. I think that's what it was. I remember seeing that.
Yeah.
Last year.
That guy, good for him. He's gone through a lot of like injury.
Yeah. Another full righty goalie.
Oh.
No. But I just find that I don't know if I've ever seen a goalie he's winning 75% of his games, right?
Yeah. No, that's nuts.
It's 80% of his games, but he's getting points in. I can't do the math on that in my head. He's getting points on 90+% of the games that he starts. That's insane. And he's got a 925 save percentage.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Good for Logan Thompson.
Yeah. Good for him. Well, everybody, thanks for listening. We were going to get to a Sharks rant. Really quick shout out Will Smith for scoring in his hometown. Goal and assist in Boston, Beantown.
His first game in Beantown.
Yep. Where he's from. Shout out to him. I'm sure we'll do another Sharks rant when the any news is slow. We'll kind of talk about that. Maybe some more beer league talk too, if we have some stuff. We'll have to get some of the guys on. I think we should get Tim on next.
We should do like an interview with one of the beer league boys.
Yeah, and just like talk hockey because we had a good conversation in the car just about hockey in general. So it can be fun. We don't really even have to have it scripted, just BS and talk beer league. But do you have anything you wanted to say before we kick it out? Shout out
not
Askarov.
Too much. Shout out Yaroslav Askarov. That might be the worst trade I've ever seen the Nashville Predators make.
Yep.
Like genuinely really bad.
Yeah.
And that makes me happy.
Yep.
That's all I have to say.
Yeah. All right, everyone. Thanks for listening. Be sure to follow us, subscribe. If you're listening to us on Spotify, thank you. Give us a follow. Follow us on Instagram, most importantly, though. You'll get all the updates there. Right underneath Alan at Good Old Hockey Podcast. And you're going to subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't. We're trying to grow that channel. So do that, and we'll see you guys next week. Peace.